back to that jump. 2023, you're in that 30 to 35 million range. This year, pacing for 85 to 90. So let's just call it a triple. And you were the only two advisors doing everything advisor related. So give me the shift in philosophy. You'd operated with a super small team of 4, 5, 6 to now you're 10 more team members a year later.
Again, it comes back to if we want to do what we say we're going to do for our clients, we need the bandwidth to be able to do it, right? We can all pretend that we have the bandwidth ourselves to try and take it all on, and we don't.
You know, and you watch the right people come into the fold and they care as much about the clients as you do. And then you realize, wow, they do a much better job taking care of them than I was doing.
Yeah. More freedom for you, more growth opportunities for your team, and better service for your clients. Welcome back to another episode of Do Business, Do Life. I've got Dana and Tyler Dunkelberger here with us today. Welcome to the show, fellas.
Thanks for having us, brother.
So let's. I'm going to give we did a quick rundown of your kind of a journey of your inflection points. So I'm going to give a rundown because I think it'll be helpful for the listeners or the watchers. So 2013-ish, you start Reliance, primarily insurance focused, which was very much the world I grew up in, annuities, retirees. So 12 million, 2013, 2014, 25 mil. And that's probably the year where Tyler really kind of joined the fray, right? And really started bumping the production. 2018, 37 mil. And then COVID hits in 2020, back because a lot of your business was driven by seminars. And obviously nobody was doing a lot of those in 2020. So back to 22 mil. And then you kind of hit this plateau. 2021, 2022, 2023, you were bumping between 30, 32, 35 mil and just kind of tapping this ceiling of couldn't quite bust through.
Yeah.
You joined Triad right at the end of 2023, 2024, first full year. And as we record this, it's November 8th of 2024. And you guys are pacing for somewhere between 85 to 90 million by year end. Did I get that right as far as the pace?
Yes, sir.
Sounds about right.
So if I'm listening in, obviously some pretty cool growth. You get the thing up off the ground, you figure out marketing, and you're clipping those are big numbers, regardless of business model, 30, 32, 35 million with a pretty small team of, 4, 5, 6, I'm sure along the way.
Yep.
I'm probably, what's that?
6 total, including Dana.
Six total. What were the learnings on the way up? And then obviously if I'm listening in, I'm like, okay, 2023 to 2024, there's a big breakthrough where you went from kind of this ceiling to somewhere ending the year double to triple where your prior year was. So what were the learnings before this big breakthrough last year? What were the inflection points in that 2013 to 2023 time period?
I think the whole goal during that time period was be lean and mean, right? It was don't hire a whole bunch of people, don't have a huge overhead, and do as many seminars as you can possibly do.
Yeah.
We did a lot of them.
Yeah, and that's, our former life before Triad was great. We have a great experience there and blessed to be in that situation.
Learned a ton.
Learned a lot. But the idea was, like Tyler said, you get somebody that helps transfer person. You get a person at the front desk and a seminar person.
And a service person.
Yeah. And that's it. And so then that's the business model, and you just stand on the gas. And one of the things that I was good at is standing on the gas, but I broke stuff. And then Sabrina, who is one of the biggest blessings in our lives.
She's been with us since day one. And
really? I didn't know. So all the way back to 2013?
Yeah.
What, was this a family friend, or you just got super lucky and she
works at the other place we were at?
Yeah. So before I left and joined with him, when I was leaving, we were kind of shutting down her department. And I'm like, Dana, you got to hire her. She's super helpful. She's smart. And at that time, I didn't even know how old she was. And she was like, she came in to interview, and she's like, well, I just finished school.
Just graduated.
We
Thought college. We were wrong.
High school.
Yeah. I mean, she was,
Wow.
yeah, wild.
Yeah. So
That
the
is wild.
first 4 years she worked with us, she was going through college, finished college. Um, and yeah, she's just been a huge part of the growth
Yeah.
and the success. And
She's family. I mean,
yeah,
she's awesome.
Hey, she was there while you were standing on the gas breaking things and she didn't leave.
She
So
was
that's
the
a
one fixing
testament.
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's cleaning
Yeah.
everything up.
Yeah. She's amazing. Like her bandwidth is pretty wild. She can handle a lot. Because she wore every hat all at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like she would do seminars with me.
Move money, answer phones,
Yep. So
customer service.
yep, all of it.
Mm.
And we were doing like I did 20 million. I remember the first time I did 20 million, and that was base. Man, that was early. I can't even remember, but it was wild looking back on how much, we were writing and just doing it together.
Yep.
It was, and you don't think about it at that time. And the good news is she didn't know any better and I didn't either. So we were just like, this is how we do it.
There's that naive part.
Yeah.
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 What was the most in that model? What was the most seminars each of you did in a year? Do you remember?
I did
like the max number?
103 nights one year.
103.
I say I maxed out probably 60 or 70.
Mhm. We
Wow.
did, I think 3 years in a row, we did over 100 nights. But like me and
Mhm.
Sabrina. And then Tyler was just starting to get into it and start, doing his own seminars as well. But like we were just like, when I say stand on the gas and break stuff, that's what it was.
A lot of times 3 nights a week.
Yeah. Some,
Mm.
4 seminars in a week, a lot of times as well. So.
Well, let's talk to speaking of break stuff and what I love about you guys, the more I've gotten to know you, like just you have a blast. You don't take yourself too seriously, but you're also both of you married with kids, good family men, who's exactly who I want to surround myself with. I'm curious when you're grinding at that level, because by the way, that was me in my early days too. It was just in a different model where we were making 100 dials a day, flying all over the country, trying to recruit people, flying people in. At what did you have any, we call it like the red line where you're hitting max out burnout. Did you have any inflection points where it was like, man, business is kind of growing. We're doing some cool stuff over here, but I'm sacrificing some of the other side. Like
100%.
at what time period did that start to become a thing? Like when were you guys getting married, having kids, all of that?
I mean, my daughter was born in 2010, so basically she was a year old when I started with Dana.
Yeah, I was
maybe 2.
I
And you had
got married in 2011. Hayden was born, my oldest. She was born in 2012, and then Reese in 2014. And when they're real little, they're when their personalities start coming out, that's when you're like, I remember it just hurting my heart some nights to be doing seminars, but I didn't know, and like I got to do this because I got family and team and
stuff. Yeah, people to pay
and support and all that stuff, and also just we're all similar. That the personality of I'm building something and I'm doing something great. And
Dana's favorite words are "it's go time." So every time we go, like we'll go to a Triad event or we'll go do something, he'll come back, look me in the eyes, and he's like, "It's go time, man. Let's go." And so that'll never end. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think we'll ever get to a point where he doesn't want to stand on the gas. But I think 2023 was probably where we both were burnout.
Yeah, I remember like summer, like May of 2023, summer hit, and I'm just like, I'm checking out. I'm spending like we're blessed to have a lake house, and I just said I'm gonna spend June at the lake house and don't call me.
Yeah. But we also had built a big business, right? We have a lot of clients, and we had a small staff taking care of those clients, and the phone I mean, I looked at the phone calls the other day and our phone rings 120 times a day.
Wow.
And so it's, at that time it wasn't much less. And so it was, we're answering the phones all day long and everybody's just getting tasked out. It's like, all right, well, I got to get this paperwork. We didn't have the processes in place. And because we didn't have the people to do it, we didn't have the bandwidth to be able to take care of all the clients that we had. So we were both pretty smoked by the time summer was over.
Yeah, and it wasn't fair to our team either, who, is amazing. Like, we love them to death. That's really where things changed. I guess we'll get into that a little bit, but yeah, it wasn't fair to our team at the time, but my brain doesn't my brain turns on at 5:30 in the morning and shuts off at about 11 o'clock at night. And, you want to take care of your clients. You want to be the best for them. You want to be the best for your family. You want to be the best for your team. And then that, you don't realize it, but, 3, 4, 5 years goes by and that starts to weigh on you.
Yeah.
And you realize I've become my own worst enemy.
Yeah. By the time we look back at it, we're like, well, we're not doing a good job for our clients. We're not doing a good job for our team. We're not doing a good job for our family. And we're not enjoying this anymore.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And you're not happy with yourself. And
yeah.
And that's really where it all,
we knew we had to make some
in
changes.
a bit of a dark place at that time, 2020, summer of 2023, trying to figure out how do we get through this and make it better? And quite frankly, had no clue.
I appreciate the honesty in that, guys. I was having a conversation the other day, and any entrepreneur that you have a conversation with that's honest and real and doesn't have a massive ego, will tell you they've had a season of that somewhere along the journey. And I think the cool thing is you guys were aware enough to realize you were in that and you wanted to do something to change it. And if you guys are cool with sharing the story, because part of what, as I was listening to you explain that, I remember the podcast I did with Anthony Pellegrino, who's obviously a friend of your guys's now. And he was one of my early friends in this business. And he had just crushed it on the business front and gotten an award for walking across the stage, being recognized as one of the top guys in his organization, and then literally walked off stage, splashed water in his face because he was exhausted. It was like, I will never do that to myself again. And so I think sometimes you have to hit that breaking point before you're like, I have to change. There's got to be another way. And I believe what's crazy is Anthony kind of helped give you guys a little nudge, because you had like a little mastermind group that one of the guys knew Anthony, and like Anthony was on a call, and then there was kind of this breakthrough moment. Would you guys mind sharing just like your side of that?
Absolutely. So yeah, we were you there at the time? Yeah. So we flew out, and there's a group of us that were just,
all the same point.
Yeah.
We're all tired.
Yeah. Loved our families, loved our team, and our clients, and like, hey, we're not doing a good job here on a number of fronts, which is never a good feeling. So we'd kind of planned this training together and how we're going to work through this and find our way together. Incredible friends, lifelong friends for sure.
Yeah.
And so, and great.
All in the business, for context, all guys in the business.
Yes.
Yep.
But you were like kind of a mastermind on the business front, but you're also like did a lot of life together too. Did like family trips
buddies,
and all that stuff.
Yeah. Families do everything together, to go on vacation, all that wonderful thing. So anyways, we're all there together trying to find our way. And one of the boys was like, and we all knew who Anthony was. Obviously in our industries, he's a great dude. We were just at his office yesterday, actually. Great dude, wonderful person, like super helpful, but just wants to help others be great and do great big things. So he was like, I'll just call him, see if he will take the time to talk to us. And like, it was probably a 2-hour conversation.
Out of the blue. It wasn't scheduled.
Not really, no.
I
It
didn't
was
know
a
that.
text message. You got time, and you know how Anthony is. Not everybody knows how he is. Trying to schedule something with him, and
Yeah, well, I'm just picturing it right now. He's on FaceTime. He's walking around in a ball cap, and you're
Yep.
like, "What is
Yeah.
this guy?" Yes, yep, I got you.
100%. That is
Takes
exactly.
4 trips in his car. Still the
Yep.
same phone call.
So yeah, it was that.
Anthony, we love you. If you're
Love you,
listening to
Anthony.
this.
Yes,
Appreciate your time.
Yes, appreciate you, brother. So we just went through the gamut of all the things. Like all of us were talking together. Like it was like he was in the room with us.
Mhm.
But we're talking together. We're talking about, what's painful, where are we going, and the breakthrough there was he's like, haven't seen a client in, I think at the time 2.5 years or something, 2 years, whatever it was at the time. And he
Kind of broke down what he did and how they're doing it. And
he's like, I wasn't in love with it anymore, which wasn't fair to my clients, wasn't fair to my, like the same, like almost identical to the things that we were feeling and struggling with. And so had that conversation with him, kind of all looked around the room at each other and we're like, uh-oh, here we go. And so, fought through it and tried to do some things together at the time. And it just, we didn't have the bandwidth nor the direction, the track to run on. And so that's where he's like, you got to call Triad. So we
had a call with Jordan.
Yep. Had a call with
Was
Jordan.
that your first call? Was it Jordan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolute.
Champion.
He is the dude. Love that guy. I mean, we feel the same way about almost everybody at Triad, just amazing. But everybody's so unique and everybody there is individuals, but that it's wild how amazing a group and wonderful people y'all are. But so talk to Jordan and then talk to Jordan like every day for like a month.
Yeah.
So, and he was just, helping us understand and work through some things and get down the right path. Scheduled a meeting, went to Anthony's office, met with Sean and a couple other, Nico. I think it was me, Nico, and Devin.
Yeah.
We're all other Triad members now. So
shout out Devin, shout out Nico. What's up, guys?
Love you, boys.
And so, went and had a meeting in Anthony's office. And when you walk through his office, it's like, it's
awesome.
Absolutely ridiculously amazing. And you see it just working. You see everybody there is happy and working and
you see the machine.
Yep. And it's going and it's hard not to unsee that once you've seen it. We'll just put it that way. So
it's a good way of putting it. I've always found that in life that if you've got that drive, once again, humble, the saying we say all the time is when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So you were looking for an answer. You were seeking something. You took the effort to go out, but then you're like, oh, dang, I can't unsee that now. So was there any sort of resistance or fighting? Because obviously you were great members of the organization you were with. I mean, you guys were kind of the golden boys there. And so was there any of that resistance because I see that a lot. I had it. Before I left to start Triad, I was taken care of very well where I was at. I learned a lot. But I knew I just had this thing where it was calling to me. I was like, I know there's more. How did you guys process that? Was that really tough for you?
Kind of exactly what you just said. Yeah. And so, I mean, loved everybody there. I don't know about Golden Boys, but we had a lot of great friends, still have a lot of great friends there. And when you have those relationships, it's hard to leave. Very hard.
It was one of the, looking back on it, emotionally, struggled with it greatly. I was exhausted emotionally thinking about it for sure.
But the same thing that you said, it's all right. What we're doing right now is not going to work. We don't want to do it for another day, let alone another month or another year. And so we've got to change something. And then all our group of buddies that we keep talking about, they had already made the decision, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and Triad gives great leadership, great guidance, shows us how to build the business the right way. And after seeing, and listening to them, he made the decision, and it's been all uphill from here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been amazing and wonderful. And it's just, you've got to, level up at times in your life, and that's never going to be an easy decision, but definitely the right one, where we feel extremely blessed. We're spending so much more time with our families, like love to be in the office again, love to be around our team. Like our team is just, Brad, I can't even, like, getting a little emotional just thinking about like our team is people I love being around, and I don't, you know, I
He doesn't
struggle with
love a
it.
lot of people.
I struggle with that sometimes. I mean,
Just
your
kidding.
people are your
I appreciate the honesty.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, I find the older I get, the more you curate the people you do choose to
Yeah.
spend time with. You know,
100%.
Yeah.
So like everyone in this office, I can honestly say I love them as people. Like
Yeah.
I would hang out with them. Actually, when we go and hang out outside the office, it's amazing. Just fun, a group of awesome people to be around.
Talk as much trash as we do.
Yeah, we just just
I
a
bet
blast.
some trash is talked. I could see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and then you watch them here as a team work together and love each other and
Work hard for each other.
and that none of that happens without Sabrina.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like we are having a blast right now.
I think the one thing that makes it fun again is we have bandwidth back. Like
Yeah.
in the past, we weren't able to do anything, and you're constantly working in the business, and you have no opportunity to work on the business. And like seeing the way that Triad is organized, and seeing all the other offices how they're organized, it's like, all right, well, we need that person here, because if we have that person here, then that opens these people up to be able to do all of the things we've been promising our clients that we're going to do for them. And so then it's, we've been able to expand on that, and there's 15 people here now.
Yeah.
We're running into a real estate problem.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
I was just talking through that. Scale Summit was just not that long ago, about a month ago. And Scale Summit, for those listening in that aren't familiar, that's our team-based training for Triad members. And as much as we want to keep Triad's community intimate from the founder perspective, right? Like we really try, Jordan, you mentioned him earlier, Colin on that team, to try to curate not just on production, but growth-minded, doing business with people we want to do life with. And it's really like curating a very intimate community of top performers that will share best practices. Anthony, prime example, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side of that, we were talking about the other day in the conference room, and we're like, if we actually deliver on what we're trying to do, which is scaling businesses bigger than just the founder, where everything's on your shoulders, Scale Summit someday should be at Arrowhead, because we're helping you all grow your teams and scale and create opportunity in your communities and obviously overserve your clients at a higher level while you continue to grow and build a business. And so like, I'm thinking like, maybe that's a good vision for us, is like someday Scale Summit will be at Arrowhead, just because you all have built such amazing businesses that have continued to grow and scale and serve at a higher level. And so I think it's an interesting way to look at it. And that kind of leads me to back to that jump. 2023, you're in that 30 to 35 million range. This year, pacing for 85 to 90. So let's just call it a triple, because I believe in you guys. You're going to hit the triple.
Thanks,
so
buddy.
from 30 to 90. Your team when we met you was 6. Sabrina, you mentioned. Tyler, you said so 6, and now you're at 15. I think 16 is on the way. You're almost ready to hire
hopefully
another one.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you were the only 2 advisors doing everything advisor related. And you said Sabrina, I think Tyler or Dana, I don't remember. You were saying like she was like a utility player, like she was doing everything. So what was Sabrina when you were at 6? What was she doing at that stage of the business?
Managing the office, moving money.
Yeah.
So was she your sole new business person?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so she was new business. So she was the new business division.
Yep.
She was director of ops division.
Yep.
What else? Was she doing anything on the marketing side?
Cynthia, that's Cynthia. So Cynthia was helping us seminars. Like when we talked about marketing before, that was only one thing.
Yeah. It was more of an event planning. We did seminars.
Yep. Which Cynthia is still there, and we're adding to her team as well.
So Sabrina's already wearing 2 hats, and then was she doing, hiring? Was she doing any of that? So she was HR.
Yep.
Was she personnel?
She was HR.
Yep.
She was, yeah,
Okay.
everything.
Well, okay. So case in point, she was wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when you all came in to Triad HQ, our little side conference room, and it was you two and it was Sabrina were in there.
Mhm.
And it was cool. And I was like, dang, how are they doing that much business with that small a team?
Yeah.
So give me the shift in philosophy that's happened. I think, Tyler, you said we realized it was like a talent acquisition game or something like that. You talked about adding talent, but what shifted in? You'd operated with a super small team of 4, 5, 6 to now you're 10 more team members a year later.
Well, I mean, the shift was seeing, I mean, y'all have laid out the road for us to run on. It's like, if you want to be efficient here, you have to build this team in order to do that. And so we've just taken, every time we go to an event, we learn something else, and hey, we have to have that person. If, again, it comes back to, if we want to do what we say we're going to do for our clients, we need the bandwidth to be able to do it, right? We can all pretend that we have the bandwidth ourselves to try and take it all on, and we don't. And so in order for us to not fall on our face, in order for us to take care of people, we've through your guys' direction, we've added the right people at the right time. I think it's terrifying sometimes when Sabrina's hiring more people than you can count. But it's all been wonderful. She's brought on great people. And it's helped us expand. It's helped us, triple our production because we have the bandwidth to do it.
Yeah. And it's, when you watch the right people come into the fold and they care as much about the clients as you do, and then you realize, wow, they do a much better job taking care of them than I was doing.
Yep.
Because you can't do it. You can't run this type of business the right way at that level of production efficiently and keep all your promises. It's just, you might be able to, we kind of did it for 8 years, and then you realize, like, am I doing a great job for the clients? Am I doing what they deserve?
Yeah.
They're trusting us with their money, their retirement, their future. They deserve a lot. So when you put the right people in place to go take care of each aspect of that, and that's what, there's an overall team, but then there's teams inside the team, right? That go and take care of different aspects of the business. Service, you've got, annual reviews, then you've got advisors bringing in new clients and adding them to our Reliance family. Mm-hmm. So it's not done well when you don't have the team to do it. It's just impossible. So those first
Dana,
couple of hires, go ahead, sorry.
Well, you said something earlier I just want to hit on that kind of relates to that. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said you were kind of hitting this burnout in 2022, 2023, somewhere in there.
Yep.
And you said you escaped. I think you used the words escaped to the lake house in June. You're like, I'm out for a month. And what I've found in many financial services firms, it's kind of this, it's like I go in and then I retreat, and I go in and I retreat. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's this tug of war between business and life, to where it's like, man, I'm tapping out. Okay, don't call me. I'm going to the lake house. But what happens on the other side of that while you're at the lake house is the business is like you said, you weren't serving the clients the level they needed to be served, but you were just like, there wasn't any more of you left to give. Do you feel like that was kind of the dance you were playing in 100%. A lot of those years?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not fair to your team. It's not fair to your clients. It's not fair to your family. It's like, you the way I was talking to Tyler about it is like, I'm trying to be everybody's everything, and I'm not there for any of it.
Yeah.
So, and it's,
and that's a very defeated place to be. I've been there.
Yeah.
Early days of Triad, I was like, man, there's not enough of me to go around.
Yeah. And I don't think your family or your team, like I was so disappointed in myself that it's just not a good place to be. Mm-hmm. And so when you make that decision, then that level up has to happen, or you're going the other direction quickly. So that's
Yeah.
where the level up happened. That's where Triad came in. And then the first couple of hires were scary. And then after that, I'm like, well, this is great.
Yeah.
Where's this been my whole life?
These are wonderful people that I like
Yeah.
being around. And oh, by the way, our clients are happier. We're fulfilling promises. We're
Checking off a
answering
lot
the
more
phones,
boxes.
We're checking off the boxes, but doing it in a big way.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, we've got a team of 15, and clients notice. Like, don't think your clients don't notice.
I was going to ask you that because with that, I mean, 1 year, your team has more than tripled. What are your clients saying? Like, what's going on here?
Like, so I was worried, like, okay, man, these clients, I come in and I make them a client. They do business with me.
Mhm.
I do all the annual reviews. I do all the service. Like, I get all the, you want to do a withdrawal, I'm in that appointment doing that.
Beneficiary change.
All those things. You're in all those appointments because you feel like you have to be.
Mhm.
And then you realize, like, oh, well, they need a withdrawal, and you watch Celeste and Bree come in, and the clients are pumped because they've been talking to Celeste and Bree, and they're like, they took great care of me.
Well, and it happens
Like,
fast.
see you, Dana. We don't need you, buddy.
They're like,
It happens faster. We don't mess up the paperwork. Everybody's happy.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then across the board, like, you've got Laura sits in Tyler's meetings now, and Allison sits in mine, and they're just incredibly wonderful people. And you watch the clients would almost rather hang out with them.
Mhm.
And that's okay. Like,
They're a good judge of characters.
so like, I could go, like, Grace does all of our annual reviews now,
Mhm.
and she has owned it and taken it, and the clients love her, and she's like, talk about level up. Like, she worked she worked at Chase Private Client, but then she worked at an elder law firm that focused on, clients with, dementia, or helping the families that have, clients with dementia. So Grace knows all the ins and outs, and we've had clients in that scenario too in the last couple of months that Grace has come in and cleaned up their whole scenario, and just watching her do that. And the clients are so, I could go on and on. Anthony is one of our new advisors in the last, how long has he been with us?
6 months.
6 months, maybe. Like, you watch, like, the clients realize that, oh, they've brought in these people to help in a number of ways. And some, at first you'll have a client here or there is like, oh, I have to meet with Dana, or I have to meet with Tyler. And then we tell them, okay, when you need these things, this is who you're going to meet with now moving forward. And you explain why. And the clients are pumped. They're like, oh, this is, like, if you need this done, it's getting done today, because you're going to the right person to get it done today.
Yeah.
Not, hey, I got to schedule an appointment in a week and a half because that's the only open spot on Dana or Tyler's calendar, and I can get my withdrawal in a week and a half, whatever.
Yeah. More freedom for you,
Mhm.
more growth opportunities for your team, and better service for your clients. Like,
It's pretty
win
dang
across the
simple
board
when you say it like that, right?
I just came up with it on the fly.
But like, massive shout out to our team. Like, love them all, every one of them. Oh, I mean, and then you look at planning, like Lexi, you look at, Bianca and Catherine, like, I go on and on and on. And then it allows Sabrina to do what she's great at, Cynthia in the same boat. And you find that, hey, we didn't have this person is right for our team and we love them. They're just in the wrong spot in our business. So you find that spot and you watch them thrive, and it's just a joy to see. And like I said, I'm excited, and it's a fun place to be again. Like, it's the work hard, play hard. It's the DBDL. I mean, it's a lot of fun right now.
I love to hear that. You said something earlier, and our mutual friend Tom Jacobs, he did an episode quite a ways back, but he called it the no appointments alone rule. And you were talking about your prior life. You were everything. You were the sales advisor, the service advisor, the planning advisor, the reviews, the withdrawals, all of that. And so how tough was that to shift to, okay, now typically it's the service advisor that's sitting in writing a shotgun, right?
Yep.
Was that a pretty easy switch just because you saw the model? Was there any trust involved in that? But I know it was a
So
game
easy.
changer for Tom.
Yeah.
So
We
tell me
actually
about
talked to Tom about it. This was almost a year ago now. And he told us about that. And I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And that's our rule now.
Well, we hired good people, and so the trust came quick. I mean, it is one of those things when you sit in a meeting with, because we've been solo for the last 10 years. And so when someone sits in there, it's a little bit different, but I mean, they're amazing. So they build that trust immediately. And it just takes so much off your plate. Like we have a meeting after the meeting and we unpack. Hey, here's the action items that we have to knock off. So they go take care of those. We go take care of what we need to do. And then we're open. We have time.
Oh yeah.
We can actually sit down and plan some other things. And again, it gives us the opportunity to actually start working on the business.
Yeah, I like Allison, like I don't know I don't even remember appointments without having her in. Like when she's not in my appointment, like, hey, Allison, whatever that looks like, it's rare. But I'll say occasionally, like, no, I got this one. I can take care of this client. And she's like, no, no, you're not.
The team prefers you don't, Dana.
Yeah. And I'm like,
don't mess up what's good here.
We don't need anything.
I find like I'm trying to think of the best analogy to maybe explain this to somebody that hasn't done it before, an advisor that's listening in. I feel like sales, obviously, if sales to me is a transfer of trust, I think some people think that's a bad word. I'm like, no, you're just there to serve people, right?
Yeah.
So sales and then service is one, fulfilling the promises you make on the plans that you build. And then planning is actually building the plans. I feel like that service advisor sitting in the appointments with you, that's air traffic control between sales advisor and planning advisor, and just making sure all the boxes are checked. And to your point, like they're the ones going and fulfilling the promises that come out of the appointments. Is that the best? Like, is there another way that you guys would describe that? Just what it's done for you?
No, that's exactly right. Like they're going to direct traffic. It's going to be, in Tyler's office, Laura's going to direct that traffic to Lexi, who's going to build the plan. She's amazing. We're blessed to have her. Allison's in mine, and she's going to do that or direct that traffic to, Bree and Celeste if they need, a withdrawal or to, add money or, change a beneficiary or whatever. So that, we can't drop the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's 4 years are better than 2. And so they're picking up stuff that we don't pick up on. They're taking notes throughout the meeting so that when the meeting is over, you can go back through and, remember some of the stuff that you probably washed over in the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah. And then they're passing that on to the client, recapping everything and say, hey, this is what we promised you. So it's
the recap emails are a game changer.
Oh, brother.
It's accountability on our side. It gives us our action item.
Well, it's also accountability on the client side. Like we can fulfill this promise if you get us these last couple of things. And basically what we explain to the client is, hey, we're gonna come 80%. We just need 20% from you, and we will take it from there. The 80-20 rule, right? So
I like that framing. That's cool.
Yeah. And when you explain that to a client and they see how serious you are and how much you want to help them, and like, hey, here's your holes. This is what we need to get to get your plan done and move forward. They appreciate it. We can go allow our team to be successful. And like Tyler said, then it opens up bandwidth and then growth and like I said earlier, it's just fun, man. It's fun to see good business and service. Like Jordan said it,
happy client.
And I know it's a Triad thing, but I remember our first conversation with Jordan about significance. Like it's on my hat. I wear this hat all the time now. Thank you for the hat, Brad. But
picked it out myself.
Yeah. So that significance, like I'll never forget that conversation. And that word is such a powerful word, right? So anyways, that was.
How do you define that for those that, weren't part of that conversation with Jordan? Like, why did it stick with you?
Well, basically, he was calling us out. Like, hey, you're talking about all these things, But how are you ever going to fulfill that?
Yeah. What are you actually delivering?
There's 5 of you in the office. What are you actually delivering? And, don't get me wrong. It's not like our clients were mad at us or anything, but we're very blessed to have amazing, wonderful clients that we care deeply about, and they reciprocate. So our biggest and best clients, our clients that, are our core clients, they notice, they have said multiple times, like, you guys really have focused on us, we feel like, and you really, like, we see how you're taking care of us.
Yep.
We see how your whole team is focused on, we feel like, it literally, I think it was last Thursday, a client said, I don't know how you guys are able to focus so much on me. I'm like, well, it's because the right person is focusing on the thing you need right now, and they're doing it immediately because they have the bandwidth and time to do it, because that's their focus. That's their job. That's what they love to do. And that's the other thing. I didn't realize there's people that love doing paperwork. And there is.
Yeah.
Like Celeste and Bree, they love to do it. They love to get it right, and they love to help the client get that job done and check that off. And there's,
to use your verbiage, it's love on your client. This gives us the opportunity to love on our clients and give them what they deserve.
Yeah.
Well, going even back to Sabrina, she was new business, she was ops, she was HR. This actually allowed her to find her lane to run in, as she's now COO, and has been instrumental in helping bring in a ton of the talent that you guys have hired. So now you're able to get her in the spot where she's not getting bogged down with the stuff probably she's not the best at and probably doesn't enjoy the most.
Right.
And that's what I love about seeing a business scale. Not only does it serve the founders, it serves the team. Now there's career tracks for advancement. And it's just a beautiful thing when you start to see that unfold as you grow and you're serving your clients at a higher level. Well, I'm got my eye on the clock. I want to go to something here. So Scott, that leads our unified planning team, he pulled some stats for me, and I want to start to unpack some of the jump from 30, 32, 35 million up to this year, 85 to 90 mil. We kind of unpacked what we call the Triad advisor model. So sales advisor, service advisor, planning advisor, and the dance that does to serve your clients. Here's stats from this year. Are you guys cool with me sharing these stats? I should ask you before I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So 44 plans, and we'll talk through what this means so far. Averaging 2.072 million out of those 44 plans each. 8 of those plans exceeding 2 mil, 15 plans with assets over 1.5. You've seen cases ranging from 9, 6.6 mil, 5 mil. And your average case size we were talking through before you got to Triad was about 270K. And so what I'd love to talk about, this has to be a big part of this growth. You said you went from 270K, you're averaging bumping up a mil and probably surpassing a mil pretty quick. So that's a 4X right there, just on the average case you're bringing on. You helped build our unified planning team because you said, hey, we need help to we want to overserve our clients. We want to level up the planning we're doing. So you were one of the early adopters of that. Tell us what that did for your business, or if you were trying to explain that to an advisor out there.
As to how our case size jumped so much?
Well, just call it, I'm just going to put it this way. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you're selling advisor, service advisor, planning advisor, and you're just nonstop back to back to back, and you don't have somebody that specializes there, obviously there's only so much you can do with so many hours in the day. So now with more of a focus on these plans, I feel like that's got to be part of you're serving your clients at a higher level. So the case sizes are going up is the best way I can put it.
100%.
Yeah. I think we're not selling a product anymore. We're selling a process. We're selling a plan. And so it's much more purposeful in what our conversation is with the clients. We're trying to help them get somewhere, right? And so by trying to help them get somewhere, we're using a variety of different vehicles, right? It's not just one thing. no matter what no matter what you are, we're going to use a hammer. Right? That's the tool that we're going to use. And so having the planning team, hey, if they use this, 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 and this, that helps them, accomplish X, Y, and Z. And so then we can turn right around, and then that gives us a better opportunity to share that with our clients. Using these tools will help you complete this task, and this is the best way to do it, and here's why.
Yeah, we say that a lot in our office, the right tool to complete the task. What are you trying to accomplish? So now it's not, so many people and even advisors focus on the product, and we were that, and there's nothing wrong with that. No. And you don't know what you don't know.
That's how most advisors start out in our space, because they work for some company that sells a certain product. I mean, it's very common.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's a broker, you're probably getting stocks. If it's an insurance producer, you're probably getting annuity. So, and those are great tools for the right reason. So now, like what the planning team helped, and just tons of conversations with them, and that I will say they listen. So, because we didn't know what the heck we were talking about. We're like, this is what we want to do. Like, how do we do this? And then we work back and forth with them. And then what ended up happening is, all right, here's the plan. And then they would get us the information we needed. And then they would do a video to explain everything for us, because we didn't know what we didn't know.
Yep.
Well, huge shout out to you guys. As I was prepping for this conversation, I reached out to Scott that leads our team there. And he goes, actually, Dana and Tyler were the ones that helped us refine our process, because, and I've found this to be very common. Some of the top performing advisors in the country that I've ever met, they're great relationship people. They're doing their very best to build great plans, but they're not like CFAs that are PhDs in every financial product in the world. That's a whole different skill set there.
Absolutely.
And as you guys were diving in and wanted to expand the offerings to your clients, you're like, man, like there's a lot going on, and we'd like to level up over here. And Mitch and Scott kind of got their heads together after the conversation with you, and they're like, what if we put together some slides that are kind of high level concepts, and then do a little 5-7 minute video tutorial. And now it's like a little prep sheet, or prep video you guys can watch and get up to speed, and like, boom, here are our options. What do you guys think? And
basically what we said, like, and again, super shout out to them, because
they're fantastic.
They just listen. They're great dudes. And Sarah's amazing. Everybody over there is awesome. So we were like, we don't want to overcomplicate this on the front end for the clients.
Yeah.
We see this as overcomplicated. We're simple guys, right? And we need to be able to explain it in a way that the client can make an educated decision and decide to move forward or not. So that's where the PowerPoint came in. It's just basically, 3 to 5 PDFs on a PowerPoint. And then it evolved to that. And then we would sit down and have a conversation with Scott about how to explain it. Like, this is why we're going there, because the client asked for this, this, and this. Great. Then it's, well, why don't we just do a video? And then you guys started sending us that, and we're like, that's awesome. And it saves everybody time too, because they can record it when it's, best on their schedule. So then we get a package. Here's this. Here's the explanation video. And we can go watch it, prepare for the client meeting, sit down, run it, and off we go. So super efficient and very educational for us as well. So shout out to those guys. The biggest thing that I will say about Triad, maybe that's not the right way to put it. One great aspect of Triad, I've yet to be told no. Like, no, that's not a great idea. Or no, let's figure out how to do that.
We'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's what I love, because I'm in the past, it's like, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Well, we call that member obsession. And I mean, it's awesome to hear from me, Dana. In fact, when Scott shared this with me, the fact that you guys asked for something different and we altered our process because of it, that was the exact text I sent him. I'm like, dude, share this with the team, because this is a prime example of member obsession, and how if you're willing to listen, it can actually change a system that not only benefits you guys, but benefits our entire organization and all the members that are part of it. And I've found, like, if you're just humble and will be a listener, oftentimes your clients will tell you exactly what you need to build. You don't have to invent it.
Right.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
it's not that complicated. You just have to not let your ego get in the way.
Yeah. I remember early on, a very early conversation with Sean, probably last December. I was like, hey man, I just want you to know, like, when I have a question or want to do something, I'm going to call and I'm going to ask everybody. I'm going to lean on y'all because you're the smart people that we need. And I don't want to be in the situation I was 6 months ago.
Yep.
We're just going to ask. Feel free to say no. Feel free to do whatever, but I'm going to be a student. I'm going to listen to you guys and we're going to figure it out together. And so far that's been incredible. Like literally it's
Worked out great.
I ask a lot. I feel like I ask a lot of y'all and it's always a great conversation and we find our way through all of those things. I'm sure they want to say, man, Dana, that's a dumb idea. Occasionally.
You guys are so easy to work with. And I'm not just saying that because we're recording a podcast that's going to go out to the world. I mean, how many times have you thanked your team, thanked us on this? You're grateful, your students and your hard workers. My favorite people, and I know organizationally at Triad, our favorite people to work with are humble students that are willing to do the work to create the change. Mm-hmm. And when I sat here and looked at your numbers, I knew you guys were having a great year. I didn't know you were at a triple a year in. That's a testament right there to you guys, your hard work, your ability to learn, your ability to like replicate the stuff we're sharing and do it quickly, because of all the Triad members, we've had a lot of success here, but that is a really quick inflow. That's like a hockey stick right there. So it's fun to watch and it's fun to be a part of. I know we're getting towards the end here, the last few minutes. Is there anything we haven't talked about? Back to another advisor out there listening in, watching, that has been a breakthrough over the last year for you guys that has led to some of this. I would say success, but significance is the proper word.
That's right.
Find great leaders. I mean, he's a great leader. You guys have been a great leader. You guys have been great leaders for us. And so, yeah, find great leadership and listen to them. You guys have given us great opportunities, great ideas. We implement them. We listen to your suggestions and we're excited where we're going from here.
Yeah, it's
next up is the Kelsey Brothers of Finance. That's the next frontier that we're working on. So
there you go. Well, when we're doing we're trying to do some of that fun stuff like you're doing.
What episode is this for you?
This will be episode 92, maybe. When this goes live, I think it'll be episode 92. Yeah.
How about? Well,
congrats, buddy.
I did 70 before that on my other show, 75, 77. So yeah, it's fun, dude. I love it. You guys are going to be awesome and love it too, because you're just curious guys that like to have a good time and like to have good conversations. It's selfishly just record them and put them into the internet. That's all a podcast really is. It's a conversation where you learn and you share.
Yeah. Well, back to your question, like other advisors out there, like don't let yourself get to the point of burnout and hating yourself. But I'm glad that happened to me and us. I'm glad I'm thankful for that, tough transition and part of our life, because, you got to go through that to realize and be thankful for where you are and where you're going. But, go find, like Tyler said, go find great leadership. You guys have been great leaders for us. And it's something we talk about a lot. We talk about it in our business and our personal, like we've sought out mentors and great leaders. And the reason we've done that is because we had incredible parents that were great leaders for us growing up. So that's been the biggest blessing in our life. You see that and you see how our parents went all in for us when we were young and through the water ski years.
Still do.
And they still do. They're still, are grateful for them every day. And so that's kind of the track that we went down, is go find those people that are doing it great and, hitch your wagon to them, as we say in Iowa or Texas.
That works in Kansas too. You're good there.
Yeah, brother.
Well, that's a good segue. So last question for each of you, and whichever of you wants to jump in, go for it. What is Dana's or what is Tyler's definition of do business, do life?
Go ahead.
For me right now, I want to keep building this business with my best buddy and this wonderful team. And I want to travel this country. I want to drive down every single road with my family. And I want to keep life as simple as possible.
Is driving down every single road, is that in an RV by chance?
Whatever.
Or how are you doing it?
Right now, a pickup truck. We love road trips. So
are you like hitting national parks along the way, or what are you doing on the road trips?
In 22, we did a big one. We hit, I don't know, like 6 or 7 national parks. We did 4,200 miles in 7 days.
Wow.
And then last summer we drove out to Amelia Island and where we had our DBDL.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. Drove back.
You guys drove. So you did San Antonio to Amelia Island.
Yeah.
He did.
Awesome.
Tyler did.
I did.
Dana has a different definition of do business, do life.
Yeah, it's a little different, but it starts off the same. Like Tyler and I have worked together and played together most days of our lives. We don't get sick of each other. So the DBDL for me is, again, hanging out with my brother, who's my best friend, and continuing to build our business our way with great leadership, and then being able to step away and love on my family, my girls. My wife is an absolute saint who I don't deserve, but she definitely puts up with me. But yeah, go and spend as much time on the water and in the water with my girls and my wife as possible. We love the Keys. We love the lake. That would be it for me.
Love it. I also love what you promised your wife when you married her.
Yes.
Would you mind sharing that? You know what I'm talking about?
I definitely know.
Okay.
When I proposed, I promised her that she would never be bored.
Have you honored that promise so far?
Oh, brother, have I honored it? I kept that promise, but she has asked me on a couple of occasions over the years, do you mind if we could just be bored for a day or two? And she hasn't asked in a while. I think she's finally used to the chaos that I create, either on the weekends on the lake or coming home and, after a seminar and telling her, hey, it was great and this and that and
it's go time
team and it's, the world is amazing and blah, blah, blah. And then the opposite of that is seminar was horrible. The world's ending and, that sort of thing. So love you, Shane.
Well, guys, from my side, it's just a blast. I mean, do business, do life. When Sean and I thought, kind of thought high level the model at Triad, it's like, what would it look like to build a business where you love doing life with the people you do it with? And you guys are an amazing testament to that. Like, I seriously look forward to every single time we get together. There's lots of laughs every time.
Back at you. Y'all are doing a great job.
So I'm excited about the next time we get together. I'm working on the December trip, so we'll hopefully make that happen. I've got to check a couple things, but if it's not then, it'll be right around the corner after that. So
Yep.
Thanks for just sharing so openly. I know this conversation brought a ton of value to those listening in and inspired a lot. Like I love the honesty where you're like, hey, we were kind of not loving life there for a couple of years and we needed to find a new way. And it's just awesome to see that breakthrough with all the work that you guys have put in. So let's keep it rolling.
Heck yeah, man. Well, hey, we appreciate you and Sean and everybody at Triad. We'd be lost without you. And our team here at Reliance we're hugely thankful for them as well. So blessed to have y'all and have y'all as friends, and the sky's the limit. We're pumped for the next 10 years.
Here we go.
It's go time.
It's go time.
All right, boys. Till next time. We'll see you.
All right. Love it,
Thank
buddy.
you, brother.
Thanks.
Appreciate
Bye.
you.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode. On to this week's featured review. It comes to us from iTunes user Noneao. Great so far, 5 stars. Excited for this podcast to start up. It's just getting going, but I love the balance that DBDL speaks to. I'm a young dad with 3 boys, and this show is speaking my language. Well, thank you so much. That's awesome to hear, being a dad of 3 kids as well. This was a review from the early days when we just launched the show. And my prior show, the Elite Advisor Blueprint, we definitely talk some life. But I think the older I get, the more I've realized that if your sole focus is business, you're probably not prioritizing the things that matter the most in life. And by the way, I love business. I love this industry. That's why I'm so passionate about it. But one of the things I try to live life by is regret minimization. And I was really fortunate as a 20-something-year-old getting into this business. I had a lot of clients that were already in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And so they were just a little further down the path down into that journey of life than I was. And I remember many of them, especially when I first became a parent, they said, hey, soak this in, goes fast. You can't get this stuff back. Treasure all these little memories. And all of those cliches started to come true. And so the older I get, the more I realize building a business that blesses your life, that doesn't become keeping that integration, the balance right, putting the big rocks on the calendar, the things that matter most, and then letting the business support that and fill in around it. That's really the approach. And so I love to hear that. That was really the pursuit of chapter 2 into my podcasting career, doing business, doing life, and helping you all crush it in business, but also, and more importantly, crush it in life. So glad to hear that we're checking that box, and we will stay on that path. So thanks for listening in, everyone. Catch you on the next one. Take care.